comic book creators square off in a no-limit Texas Hold'em tournament.
I'm Chris Moses, and I'm going to show David how the new age of comics plays poker.
Hey, this is David Schrader, co-creator, writer of Baby Badass, and editor of Nightmare Theater, and I'm here in this tournament to win. And, you know, I know a lot of people say they come here to win. They're here to win it. They're in it to win it, however you want to say it. But I actually mean it from the bottom of my heart. I'm actually in it to win it. And everyone else that says that, kind of full of shit. I actually have some real sincerity behind those words. I am in it to win it. And even though I don't normally win at Texas Hold'em, this is going to be the time.
There's nothing left to do but shuffle up and deal. Cards with Comic Creators Season 1 starts now.
Hey everyone, Jason Bennett, PopCultHQ. We're here with the first episode of PopCultHQ After Dark's Cards with Comic Creators Season 1. Our first matchup today will be against Chris Moses and David Schrader. So let's jump into the action. We're going to officially kick off. This will be our first hand. As you see, the blinds are 100 in the small blind and 200 in the big blind. You both start with 10,000 in chips. And this is no limit Texas Hold'em. So you can bet as little as you want, as much as you want. First person to clean the other person out, they're moving on in the tournament.
All right.
Sounds good.
So let's get started with the first hand of the first match. David, Chris, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So David, on the button, you have the small blind, so it costs you 100 to call Chris's big blind you like to play.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Chris with the raise.
Wow.
I was making sure the buttons work.
All right.
That's a convenient one to select.
It begins.
And the flop, it comes Jack, Deuce, Deuce.
Do we need to say what we're doing, or it's
not
obvious?
at all? Not at all. We're going to find some hands, or we're just going to be talking about things while this is kind of playing in the background in a sense.
Right.
But at least for this first hand, I'm trying to allow you guys to get comfortable with the format and how it plays out.
Right.
And the river card's a queen. Chris bets 400. Shake it down. First hand of the match to Chris. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Let's take a moment and hear from Chris and what he has on the horizon.
Hey, I'm Chris Moses. I'm a comic book writer from New York. You may know me from projects like The SATURN Effect or SOMA City that you can find at Red Sea Comics. And be on the lookout for my upcoming projects, The SATURN Effect Alpha 4 coming early this spring, and my next Kickstarter project that I'm a part of called Breakneck Fantasy Anthology.
Hey, so both of you guys are writers, and something I had been thinking about. What do you guys find to be a challenging component of being a writer in the comic book industry? I look at things like when you look at comic conventions, you always see tables of artists set up by their artwork. Here's their sketches and stuff like that. In a writer, it's a different, thing entirely, like in the convention scene. So I know, David, you've had a booth, like I saw you at San Diego in 2019. What do you guys really feel is maybe difficult for writers in this industry as far as being able to promote, being that you're not promoting or trying to sell off your artwork or something, and when what you have is your writing?
Well, I know for me, it's you're definitely at a disadvantage. The artists are the stars, rightfully so, at cons and elsewhere in the industry. But you really, you do need the writers too. I'll never forget one of the first cons I did was in Pittsburgh, and Amy Chu was there, and she had on a T-shirt that said, "I'm sorry, I'm just the writer." And I thought that was funny and kind of appropriate because she has some great stuff, and she was realistic though about like the fan interaction and like who they want to see. But without the writers, you don't necessarily have the stories unless you're an artist writer. And stories are ultimately what drives the the industry and makes comic books good. This guy's serious.
Yeah, he bumped it 1,000. Paul.
Oof.
And
Oof.
David pulls out the nut flush. Oh.
Okay.
Man, you know what? Chris, as much as you got excited to see that ace, Chris, that was a wrong suit for it to show up in.
Definitely. Tough, but it happens.
Shit happens.
Beautiful flop there.
Yes, indeed. Let's see.
And a jack. River cards a 7.
Oh.
And change it down.
Yeah. Got me.
Pair of kings.
All right. Clawing our way back.
Chris, tell us a little bit about Red Sea Comics. How did you get started, and what you guys put out there and publish?
Okay, so Red Sea Comics is my own creator-owned publisher that I created to house all the different projects that I have. I don't like to just write one thing at a time. I like to dabble in a little different or a few different areas. So to house my different projects and my different titles, I created it. And mostly at the moment, we have a lot of sci-fi, and we have a noir called Soma City that you can find on our website as well.
Very nice. Very nice.
Chris, you kickstarted some of these projects, right?
Yeah, I actually kickstarted the SATURN Effect Alpha. We just finished our third Kickstarter. We finished on Christmas.
Oh, wow.
And that was the second campaign that I did that year and the third one I've ever done. And we did pretty decently. It was a tough time to do a Kickstarter, due to like the holiday times and having to deal with other, big companies and for reach and people's eyes. So, and people's wallets. But otherwise, we did pretty well for the most part. And yeah, I'm excited to do it one more time this early spring for Alpha 4. And that'll be our biggest issue yet. It'll be about 50 pages long. So it's a super big old issue of sci-fi goodness that I made with Francesco Mazzoli and Marco D'Alessandro. And yeah, I mean, I hope everyone is excited for the final issue of Volume 1 of the SATURN Effect Alpha.
I checked it out on Kickstarter, like the previous ones. It looks really cool.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I love the art too. It's got a cool style.
Yeah, Francesco is an Italian artist and he's awesome. And Marco, the colorist, is his best friend. So they work really well together.
Now let's hear from David.
Hey, this is David Schrader. I am the co-creator, writer of Baby Badass, co-writer of Henchman, Rafael Garcia Henchman, and the co-editor and writer with Nightmare Theater Anthology. I'm very excited about being part of this tournament. I hope I last more than one round. And I do have a book coming out next month that I did with Tony Donnelly, who did Albert Einstein Time Mason, and Andre Salazar, and it's called Cannibals on Mars. And you can't forget that title. It's been in the news lately. So that's launching in mid-February. Be on the lookout for it. And later this year, a book I'm doing with Clay Adams called Carmilla Unbound will be out in October. So look out for those.
And then that's a thing too. there's a lot of competition in the Kickstarter field right now, especially since the pandemic started. It became a new source, a new avenue for creators to promote books. But at the same time, customers weren't going to conventions or comic book stores, so they still wanted to invest in the business and in collecting or however they celebrate the comics. So even though more people flock to that platform, there's been a lot more on the buying end that's really taken notice as well.
Absolutely. It's some people worry when there's a lot of projects on Kickstarter at the same time, but if they're bigger projects, I think that just brings more eyeballs to the site and gives you more of an opportunity. The jury's still out on whether or not that's good when it's a kind of a crowded field.
Sure. River Card's a club. River Card brings clubs.
I think that more eyes definitely is good, because once somebody's on the platform or Kickstarter, they're way more willing to back other Kickstarter projects, and not just comic projects. It can be almost anything. Right.
Yeah.
You can. Yeah.
I was going to say, Clay and I, we're doing a book called Carmilla Unbound about, the original vampire Carmilla.
Mm-hmm.
And we're excited about that. It's just, I don't know. What were you saying, Chris, that made me think of that? Like when you bring it out, like, I think it matters. Like,
right.
If you just try to find like a little window that you have to yourself, but that's not always possible.
Yeah, it's almost impossible at this point to find a time span where there's only your project, even in the dead times or the times where people would advise you against running a Kickstarter campaign, which would be around the holiday times. I wasn't the only one running a campaign. There were plenty of campaigns that were doing completely fine as well, regardless of the time of year. So it's definitely a difficult science to find exactly when to launch, but I think launching whenever you can is just the best time. If you're ready and you're ready to go, then just do it. Otherwise, don't wait too long, because you might lose that creative fire, you might lose that drive, you might lose that, because it takes a lot of attention span to refresh your Kickstarter campaign for 30 days and do all the promoting that you need to do and all of the networking to make it all work. So as long as you're ready to do that mentally, I think it's the right time.
That's good. That's good advice.
Board pairs 10s. Yeah, I think that's the last time I spoke with you, David, was when you and Clay we chatted about the Nightmare.
First Nightmare Theater, right? Or did we talk about Nightmare Theater 2? Did we just do
it was for the first one.
Okay. Yeah, Nightmare Theater 2, it just kind of came upon us pretty fast. So we didn't get a chance to do as much promotion, but it actually did better as a campaign than the first one. So that was good. He's winning by attrition. He's just slowly grinding me down here.
However you can get it. Get it.
Let's see here.
Blind's been raised. 7-4 king, 3 different suits.
Too rich for my blood.
Take it down.
That's probably like a king jack, king queen.
We'll never know. We'll never know, will we?
Nope. So how confident are each of you with regards to conventions starting to reopen, some feeling like it's trying to work back into how things were pre-pandemic? Are you comfortable with going to conventions yet? Are you going out and doing promotions or signings or anything like that?
I did a couple signings during the pandemic for Henchmen down in Long Beach. maybe, and also one at Golden Apple. I was safe, double masked, and all that. And I did go to Los Angeles Comic Con just as a guest to walk around and visit some friends. But spending a whole 4 days doesn't sound like something I really want to do. And but I think we're getting to the end of this pandemic. At some point, it's going to just be the endemic, and it won't be normal. I don't think it'll never necessarily be normal again. I think I'll always feel kind of weird being around a lot of people if I'm not wearing a mask. But I think we have to start slowly kind of getting there. And maybe I'll go to some later this year, but I'm not in a rush to go to a bunch of cons, put it that way.
Okay. But still open to it, just kind of gauging how things are looking.
Right. And honestly, I thought LA Comic Con was run pretty well. I didn't feel like, I feel like there's enough space as far as the amount of people and people taking the masks seriously. So, I guess it all depends on where you go and what's going on in that community.
Building on that, I would say I think as long as you're vaccinated, you should feel pretty confident to go back into the real world, I think. And I think society is going to reopen, and we'll see what the next variant or whatever comes next and how we all react to it after Omicron. But I think for the most part, hopefully we're sort of on the other side of this thing, and thanks to, technology and science. So I'm pretty confident in going to, like I said, I went to New York Comic Con, which was in October.
I know that was like the first big one to really open back up.
Right.
Yeah, and I went to Thanksgiving weekend, San Diego Comic Con special edition. They did like a 3-day version, and they did a phenomenal job. Everyone wore masks. Everyone you would have to get a wristband after showing proof of vaccination or like a negative test within the last 3 days. So, but they were still required to wear masks in the inside, and they spaced it out a lot more than like when we went in 2019. So it was moved out more. There was larger aisles and things like that, but it was nice. It was a very comic centric convention this year, less Hollywood, less entertainment, less the movie industry, and just focus on creators. So it made for a really interesting environment. I really tip my hat to the people at San Diego Comic Con and Comic Con International, who also do WonderCon in Anaheim.
Yeah. Wonderheim would be great too. Someone should make something called Wonderheim. Yeah, Wonderheim.
I think it's one of the 9 realms, isn't it?
I read that.
Jotunheim, Wonderheim.
Right. There was a Thor comic where they name checked Wonderheim. Let's see there. But no, I heard that. I heard from comic book people that it was the comic centric aspect of the scaled down Comic Con in San Diego was really nice. They liked it.
Yeah, it really brought it back for me. I went, like I said, in 2019, their 50th anniversary. And the one time I had been before was 35 years earlier on their 15th anniversary, so whatever that was, 88. He's high. Jack takes it.
Damn.
Should have took a stab.
And 3 deuce, 2 hearts.
You can have it
for 200. Take it down.
I'm gonna win this thing $200 at a time.
Check. Interesting.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it really?
I mean, you slowed up.
Just gonna see what happens here.
Check.
Right.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right, no Jack high.
Ah,
I'm sorry, Queen high, 10 high. You have to
what
beat
the
my
hell?
3.
What the hell?
Pair nines beat pair eights.
The tables have turned.
And now we're up.
Hmm? It's all part of the plan.
No more bad beats. I'll take a free card.
Yeah, let's see.
David, you mentioned a couple of the California SoCal local comic shops like Golden Apple and stuff. What's for both of you? Do you guys have a favorite comic store that's like your go-to, or it's an environment you just enjoy, or that's where you keep your pull list, or you've done promotions with? I mean, there's a lot of things, but who's tops for you in the local comic shop biz?
Chris, why don't you go first and shout out a New York shop?
Well, I actually am in the need of a new shop actually since COVID. So there's not one particularly that I'm going for immediately. I'm also more of a digital comics kind of person. So why don't you take it away, David?
664.
I actually like Golden Apple a lot. They've been a great shop, and they treat everyone pretty well. And it's a fun shop with a history. I did used to go to Meltdown when that was still around.
I felt that was coming. I was thinking the same thing.
But I know that Ryland and Steve and Prince and Carla and like a lot of these other creators kind of met there, and I did take a class there at one point. But I was never around during its heyday. It's not like I went there a lot. It was more towards the end, and then next thing you know, it was closed. Comic Bug I would go to up in Culver City, and a few other places. A shop called Quest. It was pretty cool too. I think we did a show there with Ryland at one point, but that's downtown LA. So the local shop here, there's Pulp Fiction that's pretty good, and Comic Bug. But overall, it's always Golden Apple, and I think you can't go wrong going to Golden Apple.
Yeah, they're nice.
All right. What does he have? Jason, can you see his cards and let me know what he has?
I actually cannot. I have no. I don't
betting
have like
very bold here.
That'd be awesome if I had like a little peek feature.
I think I'm gonna have to fold there. Mm-hmm. Really?
Price went up, buddy.
Okay.
Shit's getting real now.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to swear?
I think David's. Yeah, go for it.
Okay, sure.
Well, what do you have now?
David's on tilt. He's coming for you.
Are you tilted already? You didn't even get bad beated. My two pair got blown up by the nut flush. So
you raised my blind?
I know, crazy. How dare you? Okay. You know what? You can have this one, buddy. I'm a little afraid of that.
I think you
you
made the right choice there.
Queen 10.
Oh, I was real close on something.
Okay. Real close.
Yeah, and there's still plenty of cards to be laid down.
Okay. I need to start charging you for draws. I know you're chasing flushes and straights.
He's figured me out already. Really? I'm gonna have to see what you got here.
Jack 6-5 on the raised pot, 1600.
I'm just gonna triple barrel here, buddy, so you can just call it all down.
Man, what does he have? Why the confidence? I don't like this.
Did you have a childhood like mine?
I don't know about this. I'm tempted to go forward, but I'm gonna fight my nature and just fold there.
Okay. Could have dodged a bullet. You could have just played for a fool. And we'll never know.
He's nickel and diming me here, no doubt about it. Really?
You just gotta get the nuts. All right, we can limp this time.
Interesting.
Check, check. Turn is an ace.
Got deathly quiet.
Definitely some thinking to do. 600 into a $400 pot.
Can have that one. I laid down kings.
Oh, you just had to tell me that? Is that part of the strategy?
Yeah. Yep.
Trust me, I'm not paying that close of attention. It doesn't work on me. This is going to be a good one.
King Jack 3. It's a question for the both of you. If you had the opportunity to work with any illustrator, any comic book artist you could on, say, a 4-issue miniseries, who would you love to be able to put out a little miniseries with?
Oh, I have an easy answer on that one.
You go first.
100% Mateo Scalera. 1,000%.
Okay.
1,000%.
Very nice.
I already work with a lot of Italians, so.
Let me see. Sorry, I'm distracted with the cards.
That's part of it.
It's funny because I was reading White Ash when
right.
I came in the room earlier, and I love Connor Hughes stuff. I really do. I always have. I know he's locked into White Ash and Charlie, but his stuff is great. In fact, we had an idea for a game, a card game, and he started illustrating some cards for us, and they were fantastic. He's just too busy to do the whole series or whatever, but I just love his style because he does it's almost like a R-rated Disney, like classic Disney or something, but it's just got an edge to it, and it's just so I don't know, it's something so readable, and you just want to sink into it. So yeah, he's someone I really like his stuff a lot. Maybe someday. Yeah, I gotta fold this.
Takes it down.
Price went up. Okay.
Check, check. Turns a king. David takes it down. Eight, 5, Jack comes the flop. If you had an aspiring writer in the comic book industry come up to you and ask best piece of advice that you've been given as a writer in this business, what would you share with them?
Chris, you want to take that? I mean,
it's a good question.
The question, not the bet.
Right. It's a good question. I think this isn't told from another pro, but somebody that's started making comics with me, my friend Lanier, and it was just bet on yourself, and make the thing that you want to make, and don't really wait for anyone to give you permission, and just do it, and to do it your way and do it from scratch. His comic book imprint is called From Scratch Comics. And yeah, I took that to heart as when we were first starting a couple years ago, making comic books, just then putting online, and yeah, I think it's pretty sound advice.
It is good advice. I would also add that something I heard from Jeff Leeds. I was on a panel with him, and he's done some anthologies, and he was talking about if you're new to the business and wanting to kind of get in, see what it's about. Try to get into some anthologies. That way you are doing 6-page, maybe 8-page comics, and it doesn't cost as much. You can find artists and something manageable as opposed to jumping into, say, a 32-page comic or a 26-page comic and
Kickstarting. Dipping your foot into it and kind of
get
a taste for
it. Right. And the other thing is, if you're going to go through Kickstarter, and Kickstarter seems to be, here to stay, and it may change somewhere along the line a little bit, but get on there and support other projects, even if it's for $5 or $1 or whatever. You don't want to launch a project on Kickstarter and people look at it and they see that you've only backed zero. You know what I mean? Right. You need to be a backer and a part of that community too. So, back other projects, kind of get your feet wet that way. And then when you're ready to launch, I've seen a lot of launches just, they just weren't ready to launch. And, right. Their offerings are too sparse, or, look at what's successful and try to emulate at least like the layout and how they present things with the tiers and the stretch goals, and, and don't do too much too. So there's a sweet spot for people that are just starting out with Kickstarters, and it's like, don't overload it, but, and keep it kind of simple, but like, have it look at least professional as far as Kickstarter goes. And yeah, I would say like just be part of the community before you launch.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice, because there's a lot you can learn from a Kickstarter campaign. King High takes it. It's a great way to stay connected with fans and people backing your project. It's a way to gauge how things, you can definitely look at other campaigns and see what works for them, what doesn't, setting up
right.
price tiers that are smartly done to draw people in. And like you said, with an anthology, sometimes these things, you could be submitting 2 pages, 6 or 8 pages, however it is. But at least kind of, not only, like we said, get a little taste of it, but then you also see how that goes with promoting, and like on social media, how do you promote the campaign? How do you bring backers in? And, how do you promote yourself, really, because you're not relying on a publisher so much. And even then, you don't always want to sit back and hope the publisher will do all the promoting.
Right.
You definitely have to take a lot of that on yourself.
And it, going the Kickstarter route doesn't preclude you from still trying to go the other route, maybe having pitches and getting some pages and a pitch together for a publisher. But just be also very careful with the publishers that you choose, and make sure that you're comfortable with whatever splitting the rights are. And that's all I'll say about that. Very Forrest Gumpian.
Great pot. 784.
Look at all this.
2 hearts. Possible straight on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Turn cards a 9.
Look at that.
More straight possibilities.
Let's see it. Hmm.
No free
Bluffing.
rides.
Don't you think he's bluffing?
I'm not sure. Ooh, that's an
he's
interesting
bluffing.
card.
I think he's bluffing.
You think I'm bluffing?
I think you're bluffing.
I feel
Go.
like you probably just hit the nut flush again on the river. But let's find out.
Oh. Let's not find out.
Oh, okay.
That was a
Ah.
big swing. That was a big swing. All right. What?
Flop comes ace 9-7.
Mm-hmm.
The snap raise.
Right. I need to back off of that. The quick trigger.
Flop 8-7-4. And the river's an ace of spades. $2,000 pot. Oh,
Okay.
Good job.
chop it up.
Chop it up.
guys. Ooh, this could be a big hand. Takes it down.
You were right. It was
Very
a very
nice
big
hand.
hand.
Oh, it's too beautiful of a flop. King, Jack, Deuce. Winner of this match will be waiting for the winner of the Christy Shin Stephen Prince matchup.
Oh, that's going to be it's going to be a lot of swearing in that one.
Well, I'm almost expecting it, and I know Stephen reached out to Christy to say, "Hey, let's do it in the evening so we can drink." So it could get a little wild, but hey, that's what this is for. Have some fun, do something different.
Shit.
Big hand.
Sorry.
Kings and
Big hand.
threes.
Yeah.
Nice hand. Takes it
Good
down.
job. Good job.
We're almost back to even again.
I know. This is like
Your couple thousand chip lead just
it's a battle of wills. Mm.
Hard to lay top pair down.
Mm.
Queen, 8-7, 3 suits. Turn cards to 6.
Three-fourths pot. What could you have?
We will never know now, will we? Mm. hot hold'em action.
Forward pairs, threes. 2,000 in the pot. Chris comes out. That's 1,000. And a call.
Wow.
Ah,
Oof.
the river's another 3. Ah,
Scary.
chips can
Very
be flying
scary,
here.
huh? It's a good pot too.
Chris checks. David in with 2.
2K. Do I check, raise you, and just make you fold?
Call.
We chopped.
And you chop it up. Oof. Very nice, guys. That really could have been ugly for one of you.
That could have been.
No. And here comes the flop. Ace 7-4, 2 hearts. Turn card's a queen. And the river a deuce. Seven takes it.
The old one pair.
One pair good.
Now, in addition to creating comics, do each of you, are you both collectors as well? Do you have comic series or, vintage comics, silver comics that you go out, Silver Age, you looking to put together? Or do you guys have you guys consider yourself collectors in any way?
I honestly, I was not until I started doing Baby Badass in 2018. I'm a writer, a filmmaker, first, and comics kind of, because of the idea that I have with Christian Horn, kind of came late to it. So it was almost like a little bit of catch up. When I was a kid, I of course had some comics, whether they're Marvel comics or even the Star Wars ones, but I wasn't a huge comic nerd. I read like Charlie Brown Peanuts books when I was little. And I love comic strips, but I wasn't as much of a comic book nerd. So I played a lot of catch up. And as I was doing that as an adult, I started collecting more and more. And I love Wonder Woman comics, like from all the different eras. So every time I'm at a con, I try to find some rare ones, as far as that goes, that I can afford and build that collection up. So I've got a few things until my wife kind of like said, you got to pump the brakes on
The
this.
kibosh on that.
Not the kibosh, but more like pump the brakes. Like there's a lot of comics coming in. So I do have a collection, but it's not like growing, except for a lot of the friends that I have that do books. I try to like support them. And, every once in a while I go to the shop and pick up what I've been missing out on and try to get trades and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not much of a collector myself, actually. Other than maybe indie comics, but I back a lot of Kickstarter projects and
Sure.
crowdfunded things. So I have a bunch of books that I have over there that I try to keep in pristine condition, because you never know which one of these new creators coming up might hit it big one day. So, but other than that, I don't really have the space to collect comics. I'm also from the new generation of comic book fans, where most of the comic book stuff that I know was already dispersed throughout all pop media, right? Like there's animated TV shows, movies, all these video games, all these different mediums where you could get comic book IPs in your face. So I've never comic books have always been around, but I never had like the urge to collect a bunch of them, because I didn't go through the time where I was like, I only got this one comic book and this is the only time I would ever see Spider-Man. So I'm gonna like hide it under my bed and make sure nobody can find it.
Right.
But yeah, so I mean, it's still, though, I do think that I do love floppies. I do love I print all my stuff in floppies. I don't just necessarily collect old Silver Age and Golden Age ones.
Because you can't collect digital, let's face it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can, but it's not the same as holding it in your hand,
Right.
to that end, I'm guilty of every once in a while when I know there's a Marvel movie that's in development. For instance, I got like an Eternals #1, like way before, and I got a Miss Marvel 1, way before the movie came out and stuff, just to kind of hold on to it and see.
Mhm.
It's kind of silly, but it's fun to have like a bunch of #1s.
But that's the thing, it's not even that silly anymore. You look at some of these companies like Cover Price and other ones that are watching trends for values of comics go up. With the addition of Marvel Studios TV programming on Disney Plus, when they start adding, bringing out a character on Loki or on WandaVision, and they bring up, Agatha Harkness. Who is that? And now,
Right.
and now like first appearance skyrockets, and then so they've still had an impact in the valuation of a lot of these. Sometimes that they weren't seen as anything big at the time, and their first appearances may not have been anything
Right.
notable, but then now we're putting them in live action, and it definitely affects the market. You go immediately to eBay and then you see ridiculous prices, like everyone's selling PS5s. $600 the bets to David. And a raise. Row cards a jack. That's half the pot at 1,200. Oh, ooh.
That was a big swing.
Big swing.
Swing
Top
and a
pair
miss.
or second pair? Second pair, good.
Tables have turned a little bit. Chris now with the chip lead.
They've turned a lot.
Ace, Jack, 8, 2 hearts hit the board.
How many games do you have lined up? How many matches?
There's a total of 8 players in the tournament. Start right with the quarterfinals. So of these 8, the 8 people, that's 4 matches, and then the winners of those 4 matches come down to 2 more matches, and we'll have 1 more match as a final. So it looks like the person winning the tournament will have won 3 matches.
Right.
But yeah, 8 participants. I thought about doing more, and this is a first time thing, so I'm trying out. I think this is going to be the right number of people, though. When you start adding more, then you're dealing with more people scheduling, try to get these Zooms done. But also, then we're stretching out the season too. Now that's adding a few more weeks worth. So this tightens it up a little bit, and then it would kick off a second season, maybe become March or April.
It's a fun idea, no doubt about it. People love gambling.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. People have a lot of different ways to entertain or promote drinking draws, or whatever people want to do. There's a bunch of things, and this is something that I've always wanted to do. I thought it'd be fun, and this is actually the easiest and best way to do it. Before, I would have to get all the participants signed up with PokerStars, and we can create this virtual room. But I didn't want a whole lot of hassle for you guys to players. I want you to be able to jump right in. Let's play. Whereas we're not having to establish an account, bring an outside source in.
Right.
So this looks like this would be a good way to run with it, at least for now, at least for the first season. I'm happy with how looks to be turning out. So,
Well, we are happy to be part of the first season.
hey, I'm glad you guys will be a part of it. You know, you guys could be. No one's a loser here. Everyone's walking away with something. You're all going to get commemorative season 1 poker chips, only given out to 8 players in this season. And then, of course, we have some exclusive variant covers. PopCultHQ did with for Banjax and Aberrant. Those will be given out. We have a trophy and a $50 $50 will go to the winner's favorite local comic shop. And like I said, a trophy, it'll be etched with your name in it. So just something a little fun. A little
trophy. Okay. Now I'm going to start playing for real. There's a trophy involved, people. I want the trophy.
It's just, do something a little outside the box, a little unconventional thinking, and just.
It's kind of like Hot Ones, except instead of us eating hot wings, we're on the hot seat.
It's kind of like that as well. Yeah. So we're still
right.
talking, we're trying to keep everything pretty, comic book related, but at the same time, throwing this at you guys, you share a real strategic mental game. And, the nice river. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this season turned out. And I think it's going to look real great too once I'm done with the editing the video. So
you're going to edit all this out, right? All the playing?
All the playing?
I think you were bluffing, Chris. I think you were bluffing that last.
You should have called then.
Yeah, well.
Should have called.
Not in quite a position to call that out there. But I think you were.
I had a piece of the board. What piece? I don't know. But there was a piece. All right.
Oh, that's interesting.
Very.
$800 and a call. River cards at ace of spades. Check, check. Pair of nines, take it down.
It is flopped back. How often are the blinds increasing? I'm not even paying attention.
I don't think they are.
Oh, they're not. I thought they would
look
automatically
like they're stationary. Yeah.
There might be a setting that I don't know, like for future games or whatever, you want to start doing that, or you can set it. But at some point, you do that, don't you? Like the blinds start going up.
I would think so, but I didn't see anything. Yeah, I'll have to look more into that, see if there's a way to. Because it asked me what I wanted to start the small and big blind at, but it never mentioned anything about intervals, like when it would go up. If it was by time or by hand number. Yeah, so I have to look more into that, see how I can get that going. Deuce of clubs.
I feel like I just got set it on. He has like pocket threes or something.
Let's find out.
I guess
thousands to bet and a call. 10 of spades on the river.
Just bet it all.
And two pair.
Two pair good.
Two
pair good.
And I think we're getting to the point where we know who's going to be the winner. That was it. That was a big hand.
You had an overpair, man. Your hand looked good. Very nice.
Not good enough.
Great hand, Chris.
It's close. I mean, two pair has to be good eventually, right? I can't keep getting blown up with two pair.
This guy's a total ringer. It's not fair.
And a 3. Straight possibility. Possibly backdoor clubs. No, but there's the 4 for the 1 card straight.
Did he get there?
Oh, God. I think we know the answer to that. Yeah, this is going to start going faster. Oh, I'm reliving that hand 3 hands
Queen
ago.
7, 2 clubs.
Queens is probably good here, though.
A little late. Little late for that. Yeah. I think sometimes fold is your friend. You need to learn that. It's another lesson out there, kids. Sometimes folding is your friend.
Fold is good.
Fold is good.
No shame. No shame in it. Turns a 9.
Oh, man, it's a tough one to.
Chris takes it down.
He was just kind of sandbagging for the first how many hands, I guess, right?
Well, now I have the lead, so, and I know you like to chase your hands, so I gotta make you pay.
I'm pretty transparent. That's the thing. I'm kind of an open book. No poker face.
Me neither.
And the flop.
I don't really start getting going until I'm down to about $1,000, and then
Excuse me.
No problem.
Jason, you got a lot of snow up there now?
Well, actually, we do. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. Yeah, we have there's still at least 3 feet still around in a lot of places. We've been hit hard though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shoveling snow is no joke, man. It wipes you out. I mean,
I don't do much of that out here. So
true.
I've kind of forgotten what that's like.
Yeah, it's only snowed about one time here so far. So
Really?
I haven't had to do much snow shoveling just yet. But we'll see.
I thought you guys were getting hit with some storms. But
I think that it should be snowing on some places on Long Island this like tomorrow, but sometimes like something can like hit New York and like it won't be out here on Long Island. Something could hit Long Island, but not really hit like Manhattan, the NYC metro area. Otherwise, like the boroughs. So.
Eight, 4 deuce. Check. Turns a jack. $200 at David.
Too rich for my blood.
Ah,
That's not true. Literally, you're way rich. Your blood is rich right now.
do have what they like to call a commanding lead.
It's pretty commanding.
10, 10, 5.
It's frustratingly commanding.
You can see some firework here. Queen 6, 5. And cards a 10. Does David take a stab at it? Ooh, hot bet by David. How does Chris respond?
Eventually, I'm going to call you, man.
I was hoping you were going to raise me there. You never know. It's very very cat-like.
10, 9, 8. This could be interesting.
It could be. Boy, that's a hard one to give up.
Jack 7, 7. Comes a flop. Chris takes it down. So, Chris, at Red Sea, it's Red Sea Comics, correct?
Correct.
Now, are you taking any kind of submissions or anything like that right now?
So for the moment, it's just my own creator-owned titles.
Yes,
That
okay.
doesn't stop us from taking submissions in the future.
Okay.
But for now, we're just focusing on getting out as many of the ideas that I can muster for now, and then we'll probably
Sure.
be moving into. First, we'll probably be working on anything in-house that any of like the artists or some of the artists that I work with are also writers. So if they
Okay.
decide that they'd like to have something under the Red Sea brand, that'll probably come first, and then afterwards, when we're looking to expand a little bit more, definitely in the cards, I'll say, to potentially publishing other people's work and expanding the Red Sea label.
Love it. Love it.
Or parting the Red Sea label, maybe.
Exactly.
Let's say, right? What the hell?
What the hell? Why not?
Board pair 6s. Check, check. And the river's a 5. It's in 6s with the
Damn.
king. Take it down.
He's almost there. I would need a miracle.
It can happen.
It could happen.
Yeah, David, you
But
get a
will
nice.
it happen?
Maybe this is your double up hand right here.
Who
Maybe.
knows?
9-4 deuce with 2 clubs. Board pairs deuces.
Mhm. Couple $100 at a time.
Hey,
That's the
It's
plan.
all right.
Yep.
That's the right direction.
Slow and steady, buddy.
Flop.
Oh, you got there.
Five of spades. Check, check, and the river. Board pairs deuces. Chris checks. David says, take your checks to the bank. I'm betting 6. Half the pot.
Nothing for you.
All right, you
Wipe
can have
me
this
out.
one.
Oh, 6s and deuces. Take it down.
6 is good.
Worked out.
I'll give you a little more breathing room there, David.
Yeah, a little bit.
The flop. Repairs jacks. And a raise.
The snap raise is always a little fishy.
But maybe I just want you to think that.
Maybe.
Maybe that's your
Right?
move. Maybe that's your go-to.
The mind games.
I'm getting hyper focused.
Ten, 7 deuce on the flop.
How about the snap call? Is that something?
Yeah, definitely. Snap call something.
I'd call something.
Snap raise, snap call, snap fold.
Snap fold.
That works too.
Right.
I had the Doyle Brunson, so you were done that hand.
Good old Doyle
Oh.
Brunson. Great callback. Remember, like, I know poker online, or not online, but like televised poker is still a thing, but it was a really big thing about like 15 years ago or whatever. For a while.
Yeah. It actually, it was tough on the card room scene, because people started watching it and then thought, "Oh, I can do that. I know how to play poker."
Anyone, yeah.
So then, as it was funny because I was actually playing at live tables, like $1 table, $2 tables. You could tell people who've actually been playing cards at card tables versus people who learned it from, because some of their moves, the way they play, the way they call it was just so like the TV show.
Right.
But most people in the poker community didn't really mind it. They didn't really see it as much of a threat. It's a different animal online playing versus in person. In a card room in a casino. It's where you're able to see people's tells and watch people a little bit better, how they bet, how they play with chips, how they snap call, snap raise and stuff. So I don't think it's as big as it was online. They started really expanding it with the World Poker Tour with
Sorry.
trips.
That's it.
Good game, my
nice.
friend.
It was a good game. I had to go with the 2 pair.
Ouch. Hey, Chris, congratulations.
Congratulations, Chris. You
man.
won the warm-up game.
Winning
Right?
the first quarterfinal matchup. And
Oh wait,
you-
I thought this was just a warm-up game, Jason.
so
Are you sure? Oh, I would have played totally different if it wasn't the warm-up game.
You guys both played well, and thanks for taking a part of it. So, David, you're not leaving without parting gifts. So, like I said,
Please tell me what I won.
The commemorative poker chip and everything. Chris, congratulations! You'll be advancing to the next round, you'll face the winner of the Christy Shin Stephen Prince match
Okay.
they're on. So that should be a couple weeks after this one airs.
But I'm glad this will be up on YouTube and people will know for posterity that I am a shitty Texas Hold'em player.
There was a couple moves in there.
Yeah, you made some moves.
You guys don't patronize me, guys. It's fine. It's fine. My instincts are not always the best, but like, okay, this is the time. This is the time to make the move, and it's never the time. Good job. Good game, Chris.
Good game, man. You did great.
I'm happy with the way this came out with both you guys.
Well, there you have it, folks. First quarterfinal match goes to Chris Moses. We'll move on to the semifinals. Be back with us next Saturday for another match as Rich Duick takes on Rylan Grant on PopCultHQ After Dark.